or Emma or Mokwati Timu, Nanning.
I said, the my baby son said, me by TV, so I don't know if you also can't be a pressure academics.
So, never pressure and raffle.
Or better, so I feel that Juma no me. I keep on
pressure better. Juma no soon. And
to keep addressing the problems.
Okay.
So they say in the psychology na kan ni who say what start abuse na in find the back.
Okay.
But this
yeah, that's it. Be say who dey kan ye adwuma binum schools ne ade eno
about abuse now. Easier on my part, and it will also fix a problem in the society. They will get to know it in their younger age. But say 2020 na me will feel it happens to many men, but sometimes I want to focus. When you look at the scale, no, the one I hear dorsum. In man, be say be 80-90% and more kwasi boom. The man could be 5%. So problems never na me say okay, let me tackle it this way. But in as much as I want to tackle the people who are young, who are not even exposed to abuse, who should know. It's a medical way. No, say prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
So I want to focus more on the
prevention,
preventive crime.
Okay.
But me focusing on it. Now the society has a lot of damaged people. I call them damaged people. They are damaged. Abuse no, and I'm this book about the laws and psychology of abuse. And okay, you know the beginning and the end of abuse. Into no ana me di woman na me dey aba but edwuma ne so say na okan akade nso nim but
ye be bom paye say akade na bebe ni manim ya ne ahwese na niama esi eko na just
from chapter the whole of chapter 5 no it start from article 12 to article 33.
Okay.
Into no say fundamental human rights and freedoms ya church on obrofo ni mu no but okọ grounds na so okọ efie ni mu a ye nkrofo ayakayaka de society ye nkrofo ayakayaka de workplace ye nkrofo say what to be found this. So if we are unable to even identify that from the onset, say when they ayakayaka de then na utimusa happens in intimate relationships our realm. It be a parents but in the family setting or in the domestic setting. Then abuse no so say you be ayakayaka day in general no. But it is domestic when it is happening within the family unit or amongst ourselves. In generally ni nyina abuse na bia say only be ma wo ho na or if you are experiencing beatings in there it can happen to men and women. In the family setting it is domestic violence but in it is physical violence.
Okay.
Then we also talk about the verbal. So
udini patem
parents beat me catch on say what do you be for you say and I say men even so cry. Today I'm trying not to be one-sided but
but so can in album.
Better be come but men money baby na try no be to me can be chere na a dream. Then we have the psychological and I say yeah so the who show be near there. Ni nyina no the legal implications and I say the penal consequences. Oh yeah we are so train say. Then we talk about the sexual violence. So we should be nada and I say nipa no kone than the age net is saying. E when these 16 years and now these 16 years. Opne so and I say one pne so. We have the verbal friend is a physical, sexual, psychological, and then we have the economic violence. Economic violence and the cost of our remove anything which has to do with money or manipulation or control. Say ukunu kra je usika. Money baby no me adwuma no mukunu ma disika no. And I say we'll have control over your money, your everything. Bibia and I say be deprive you of money or you deprive your child of food as a form of punishment. All these are acts, daily acts. But when you fail to identify, you fail to identify say abuse. I me 40 years Minimi kuaware no. Umuano kasame. You listen to the story. So when you continue to stay in it, then it leads to the psychological damage. So be sure as the good. So it's a form of physical violence. But in law, they are so trained. Obi de abro in law assault jail term is 3 years maximum. Obi de second etwa na bibi causing harm in law 10 years na ade. Obi a show no wada undi 16 years in law 25 years maximum. And just say ni nyina wo ho na machinti no. I want people to know the act no. If you fail to identify that what you are in is offensive or is abusive, then you are going to stay in it.
Okay. Inti asema maybe say yenhwe o. Say nipa no go through sa niam ni nyina na na okase na abeye adwemu how ni ade no. Inti no nipa no be da fight sa battle no because ya ma abeye no abeye psychological ni ade. Inti eba ne sa na saying and was so handle no. E was so womuana yen asofu ya omba no the Bible na ebe no masan de aba be kasa ho an se Bible chi awarja ye ne ade no watinam wo be handle ne sen na mra no ka every fa ho. Okay,
sir, for the preventive crime no me focus ne say wo be identify abuse no
ubetima asha no so say de wo komu no ye tete afo awon die so
no wa stop it and awa free mu eno de ye hu ya say if eno say wo koso ya either say ubetete obi fa awon die so na de wa copy afiase the way tete and fa awon die so no so e bi ase kwa no de go mpa kono so a on recover da eno de one man is psychological problem it's a psychological problem say you treat and say obi wa ware mu na di kunya na yakayaka de bia
o de yemfa aware de ne example so o aware mu ne ye na yakayaka de bia eno sa no obeye ne den
se
mra kwa so no
membenti na otim asofo no so no Bible no ene ho word ne ade no say for better and for worse nti no till death do us part but here mran so we talks about divorce, grounds of divorce. Obema show de bia or starve or sika usun or tete ni nyina wo mu de mpaebo we enya dry fasting enye fasting and prayers enye atwa mountains so shemwa mane tochawa ma utimutimutimi a na affect your mental faculty wa say wa dwen ba. There's a thin line between sane and insanity. Into be sure omo abuse ni mo manedidi omo no. In the end they are able to come out, but everyone who goes through abuse will have deep psychological problems. I call them damaged people, and they may inherit toxic behaviors from the abuser. They are all yakayaka human beings as we are. It said they only abua sebe ati. They are all abua no. If they abua no, the animal keeps entertaining what you are doing to the animal, it become a part of their life. Only bema or no the or yakayaka de na won't complain. It becomes the normal, and he will keep on doing that. He is the abuser. He may have abnormal behaviors, and if an abnormal personality disorders.
Mary Henry said, "Nipa na oya abuser no."
As you call Mika.
You call Mika because your brain no never so doso. You have said abuser and say, "Onu so ye unaware." Said you no abusive so. I don't know how can the situation be managed.
The situation can only be managed when we read, we educate ourselves. Until now, I have taken the time to educate the public in various platforms, in tertiary institutions, in the educational sectors, in ministries, people in higher education. I believe the same has shifted from the children. I believe that we should educate the older people so that if you are an abuser, you may have psychological problems. But it gets to that point where people can kill. Say not say a lot of women kill their husbands through so many ways, through food,
because why and
I must say that it is very easy to kill your husband. It is very easy. You don't know, you see him lying there, and a lot of women are doing that, or they will prepare food. There was a man who was talking to me, say 8 months in your name. My dream woman say it could be say slow poison nibi. So the abuse, if it's in the intimate relationship, say be a marriage, no many idea, no domestic winner. Now mushe na Bible no say for better and for worse. Now mushe more bodamba. So I always encourage people to seek early divorce, even though the Bible says thou shalt not whatever. No.
What God has put together, do not put asunder.
But ayaka then is a ground of divorce. It's unreasonable behavior. You must get out. Because the psychological no one treat here. The psychological we go through depression, bipolar, borderline personality disorders, baby. My list me book no me research. I mean, psychologist. But me dynamic says psychology for no hear me book nimpo. It talks about all the areas, no. Deep psychological so the ignorance
and no
is there.
Who say somebody will be emphasis will be a yet 10 war ebusuan abusive ebusuan ne papa abusive into the nyini into one heritage into so be or abuse will be a orphan say normal
into no so be grow up with the personality
that is it into abuse or ba or who say
yes I call it intergenerational cycle of abuse. It will keep on until we decide to fix the problem.
So how mami mbisa we answer now into no obano e mana ye ware mo no mo be den hu sa niama na no say red light home red lights no say red flags
no even now the women are making all the bad decisions. Ibi mo worry for our war, ibi mo worry for the ring and all na mbema ni bo mkasia mbema ni bi so crying worry om na uko social warfare igugo. The cases are there. Uko drops to igugo mkasia bo na too much because people are making the wrong decisions. They are not even thinking about the mental consequences square the bebo so wow obabo ho na would struggle all those things. No, you become a victim at the moment. I make a psychological way want na when treat here.
So where do we go? Red flags
mental way no.
Me never be sure na dey no way. Nti wo be dey red flags no. Yemfa so be a wo free society. Abusive society no. What free mu na dey aba. So how do you see the red flag? Because we know we are part. You say normal.
So when you fail to identify the act no, say what they domestic violence, say abuse. If you fail to identify say economic violence, jume bia mi kun yi. Me sika mi pay no kotom account man na mi kun yi sika ni nyina. Your properties nyina wo mi kun din mu. Won bibia ni wa you own. The man can just talk to you anyhow. Oh no, I drink cry ha na oh no, me to ma go no we useless. Some men can talk anyhow. So you are going through verbal abuse. You also have non-verbal communication.
Yeah, so because men being so called verbal abuse.
Man being so very, very toxic, and they are killing their husbands. So if we don't look at education generally, because abuse, social WHO definition, a public health issue.
Okay.
It is a health problem, and I dream even though the end result falls under mental health. It is still a health issue. Because a differently will be an asenia there. For Rachel Sakawane, all those things, Kolan 3 years, 4 years. And also the cases are there. Who is tackling those things? Who is talking about these things? As a nation, what can we do? Me, I can only do what I can do. If people still fail to educate themselves, because that is the only way out, then problems will be there. As for us lawyers, we are obeka wasem krache 2,000 Ghana cedis. 2,000. Me book no say 200 Ghana pay. And no crowd me book no so say den yawo baby. I just wa frame me answer na when you. So the problem is I am seeking to educate people generally.
There was education near more.
Yes. So that abusers can stop. And then victims too can also who say victims for no there and I don't blame them. We call some intervention, crisis intervention. They are stuck. They expect that a system should take them out, or their family members should take them out of the situation.
And nobody is helping.
Nobody is helping. They are stuck. Number 3, 4. No, the men will try and make you a dependent on them, so that you don't even have money. to do anything. Ho bebre samba no, and it's very sad. They say no.
Onya obetime from but oni bibia obetime gina.
The whole life.
Nti was what na be man ho saa.
Onya oni plan bia ma no ho. Maka se mba koko kra ton kuku. Say uni hwe no frɛ lawyer na say uni hwe me ntumi mbefa legal problem mba me so. Financial problem. I'm not available for that. I don't think the government of Ghana will even do that. So whatever it is, you know, but some money is, you know, if you had more time, no, you know, psychological, we want show where Juma. Okay,
you hear the psychological side, no. Say nipa no go through sanya money na abuse and violence in this
So at that moment, you know, you need psychotherapy. You need to see a psychologist for assessment and evaluation.
Now can the person even identify say this is the situation I would do now?
So I expected that side of the health, you know, to do education.
Okay.
It looks like I'm doing the education for so many institutions. I'm doing the police for Juba, I'm doing the lawyer for Juba, I'm doing psychology for me, and GS for Juba.
Education.
It's the education we need to educate the public. There are a lot of abnormal behaviors. Even in the media, celebrities, there are a lot of people have you.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Violence and abuse.
They have psychological problem.
Okay.
We'll be to me run the home and run the back. How you relate to people will change. You pity them because a lot of men are abusers, and they bring it from the home to the workplace. They bring it from the home to the schools where they teach the children. Adana kwala baby bi na be fa kin no abu na ma na chi abia. If you say obo iri wo fie, obo mba wo fie. Woman, in the end, you know, an NGO had to go and take the woman. You say because something that you need an intervention, something.
But don't you have any system from in the country?
Take you are not
don't we have any system currently? Effective. I bet my man free Sunday.
Unless the NGOs, social welfare, for my knowledge, they depend on these NGOs to, you know, obey you cry now. They work commercial NGOs now. So a now bought them cry. The mental health situation or services in Ghana. Oko you know they make only them nyame na make ubetimi akọ internet. In drone no cry no a day no. You may spend at least 100 cedis a day. Accommodation for no me chapter about room. Accommodation no cry be no. Any medications na de be ma no. And the conditions there. So why don't you leave the marriage? Most of these abusive women has to do with marriages. Why don't you get out of the marriage?
Lawyer only remember what kakra because me my nkasa be na ya say you bet my microphone so bisa questions kakra na ya to aso e de akoyim me ne lawyer Mary Ohenewaa Afful or a human rights advocate on any din komo say yetieti amafa anwudi eso ye tete man nkwala ne ade odi enimu pa so obekaya nansen ya ababa we bia okoda ba bia ni stepfather man kwala bi bro no ne ade senia lawyer die kira ono die kira ma aposifo ebe mu asem no aposifo di omhu age mu denden because na wafa asem no wo kapa odi enimu pa nti say nipa no na oye na say ya no try book fufuro de buy on the book do ya de pa the laws and psychology of abuse. What would you how many months?
7 months no kwa day 19.
The laws and psychology of abuse and our sign there ba nyina ye in connection with a ma yetieti wo mfa ho die su ene ade enti ebusua enkomo aye di no nse this week my masem sa china na mewie masem no nti na de ye kwan aye tete ma ene ade ye betwa ho ne aba ye ba me ma lawyer nkase bebre na ye bia homa natum bia manfo questions bebre on pesa wo mu bisa ba me de minim se ye se be ma na tete be ma nti de he ne se be ma ne papa na obo na maame na wedi sa bante wedi ni papa kira de anyini nti automatically wa inherit nti ofo se sa na te sa no sen ye be ko ne sen system ben ɛna ɛwɔ sɛ ɛwɔ in place ɛbetima boa saa bɛma no ɛne ɔbaa ebi ɔne ne te ɛne adeɛ ɛma nso a ɔmofo sɛ bɛma deɛ bɔ wasum a yɛ normal bɛma deɛ ɔbaa bi kura timi ka sɛ me kura me ne te ɔmmome na ɔmmome nto betima hyɛ ne kura bufuo paa sɛ ne kura bɛbɔ because ɔfo sɛ saa ne te sɛ nipa no so saa no yɛ bɛyɛ ne